Good evening. It's Tuesday and it is the second Tuesday of the month, so it is Sew a Row time. And for August, I've decided to use the Grandmother's Flower Garden, made up with hexagons. The PDF is already in the files, and it does have a little template of a 1-inch sided hexagon. So if you have a die cutting machine that has the 1-inch hexagon dies, you will be well on the way. Otherwise, it's not very many that you have to cut out, but you will need 7 hexagons for each Grandmother's Flower Garden block. So here is the one I've done here. I've used the lovely Beach House fabrics because I'm doing my Sew a Rows in blues. And all you need to start off with is your base fabric, which we're going to apply our Grandmother's Flower Garden to. So a 6.5-inch square for the base, and then you will need 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now these are, if you can see, one side is slightly glossy, that's the adhesive. This is interfacing, it's light to medium weight, and it's what we use in when we're making our pouches, bags, etc. It's the papery one, the H250 by Vilene. So you've probably got some of this in your stash. If you haven't, if you want to do it the traditional way, which is by popping your these just papers and folding the edges over the paper and then doing tacking stitches to hold. Then if you press the hexagon, once you've tacked around it, you can then pull the papers out. This one is a nice, easy, quick method by using these papers. As I say, they're quite lightweight. You could use a lighter weight interfacing if you wanted to, but the adhesive, so heat fused, makes it really, really simple. So this is what we're going to do. I am going to have a 2, 4, 6, 7. I'm going to have a centre block in one colour. So my centre block is going to be in that, and then I'm going to use alternating light and a medium colour around the edges. So I want 3 of each of those two and 1 of the centre one. So I'll just pop that out of the way, and we are going to first of all fuse these onto the back of the fabric. So make sure you turn your fabric the wrong side upwards so that you know that you're popping your interfacing onto the right one. So with iron at the ready, this interfacing doesn't take long to bond, just a few seconds. So just make sure that you've got the fusible side facing down onto the back of the fabric, and place it so that there's roughly 1/4 inch on each side. So I'm making sure that I've got an edge because we're going to cut that out afterwards. So I'll pop that one on first, just get it a little smoosh around. 4 or 5 seconds is plenty, and that is stuck to the back of my fabric now. So then I'll take my lighter one, and I need to have 3 on here. So if you just heat your fabric first of all, and then pop your pieces, fusible side down, onto the back of the fabric. And when you're putting the second one, just make sure you leave enough space between the 2 or the 3 that you've got an edge, because we cut these afterwards. So I would just first of all just pop your iron down onto it. Don't start moving it around straight away, otherwise you can quite easily move your hexagon. So that's 1, 2, 3 bonded onto there. And then the last one here, you'll notice I like to iron the fabric first. When you pop your hexagon down, it clings a little bit better with heat already in the fabric. So you can see also I'm putting my straight edge parallel to one of the edges and just placing that. If you've got a squarer piece of fabric, you can make much better use of the area, but these were just scraps. So again, pop the iron down flat onto it, and then you can give a little move around once it is minimally adhered to the back of the fabric. Okay, so we have all of those adhered. What we should do is wait until my scissors fell on the floor, I think. We should wait until the adhesive has cooled down. I'm just looking for, oh, there's some scissors, thank goodness. Just wait for the fabric to cool down, and you'll know then that the adhesive has settled properly. So then I'm just going to cut, as I say, approximately 1/4 of an inch around the edges and on all 6 sides, and then we can keep the scraps for something else. So just around here and here. If you don't leave a big enough edge, you know, the tiniest one will suffice, but it is easier for folding your fabric back onto the papers if you've got a good 1/4 of an inch to turn. So that's 1, 2, 3. This is something you can do sitting in front of the telly, because you can listen as well as stick these pieces, which is what I'm going to do. So as I was saying, you can, if you would like to, just cut your papers in with 1 inch sides to your hexagon, and then what you do is fold these edges over to the reverse and tack all the way around to hold the fabric in place. If you then give it a good press, all the sides will be folded over nicely and stay like that, and then you can take the tacking stitches out and apply your hexagons to your background square. Okay, so just a tiny little bit there. Right, so we have all our pieces ready cut now. So here is the super duper bit. You can either use, I know a lot of you bought the 505 sticks the other day, but I have So Easy and also the Sew Line pens. Any of the fabric glue sticks will be absolutely great. So all we need to do now, because this has got a slight thickness to it, you can feel it, all we're going to do is fold the edges of our fabric to the back, so onto that interfacing. So this one is blue when it goes on and it dries clear, so I tend to put just a couple of lines on to begin with, and I work my way around the edge. So I just make sure there's a little bit on the fabric there. Try not to get it onto your pressing mat if you can help it, your wool mat, and just fold that down, and then I do 2 edges at a time, and just push that over, and you can feel the side as you push it over. So it's really not, you won't be pushing over too much or folding your fabric too far, because you can actually feel the edge of your interfacing. So there is one almost done. On that very last one you might need a little bit more, but what we can do, because we're going to leave that interfacing in, we could give that a press, pop that over to the side, and that's one done already. So as you see, I'm just using the edge of the stick. If you've got some nice long nails, it will fold up really, really easily, and just press, which as you see is so much quicker than actually stitching. So, and I just keep moving that around. You could do opposite sides, but I like to just keep going around, because then you've only got one side that is not adhered directly to the fabric. So just put a little bit there, and push that over up to that edge, and the last one again, and just give that a little press as well. So as I say, we will press that with the iron before, oops, I've got a bit of that on there. That will go, hopefully. I should do it onto paper really. So let's just push that one back. I'll bring a little bit of paper in a minute. And it's where we fold that one over that there's no glue now. So if you just pop a little bit more glue there, whoops, grabbing me a little bit of paper there, and it's much better by doing it on what is not the pressing mat, because you don't want to get glue on your pressing mat. Just fold that over and that one over, and you can see how it's a little bit quicker if you do two sides at a time. So press that one over, and it's that little bit there, just needs a little bit of glue to be able to stick all those edges down. So that's all three of my medium colour. So fold it over, and you can see it sticks readily. I'm just pushing down so that fuses to the back of the interfacing. A little bit there, a little bit there. And it's quite a vivid colour before, so that you can see exactly where you've put your glue, and it dries clear, so you won't actually see that when it's dried. And there we go. And the last one over, and this will give me regular, very regular shaped hexagons, which is exactly what we want. And there's one, and I've actually cut the tip of my finger, and that was on a piece of paper. Unbelievable really, and it's amazing how you use that tip of your finger so much when you don't realise it until you've damaged it, and then you think, oh, how did I work without that, the tip of that finger? Right, so that's better. As I'm getting little bits on the paper, much better to put a little bit of paper underneath so that you don't get it on your pressing mat or the top of your machine bed. Okay, two more to go. I think you've actually got the gist of how this works. So just two rows, two edges of the other sides of the hexagon, just glued. And if you've done the traditional way, you'll see how quick this actually turns out. So I've just got it on the side there, and a little bit there, and I'm only using the side of the glue stick. It's amazing. I think this glue stick is perhaps a little bit dearer than other glue sticks, but you can see how long it's going to last. There is so much more glue. There's 36 grams of glue in there, so it's going to last me a fair while. So we're on the very last one now, and we'll put the blue there and there. And you don't need to do more than one stroke of the glue. That's just going onto that bit which is folded over there so that sticks down. It's just one little sweep and not a load, and then just pop that over, and I'm feeling very, very easily the edge of that interfacing. I'm just going to go like that because there's a little bit of glue there. Why not have it where it should go, which is on the fabric? So let's pop that is there, and the last one over. And I'm just going to get my iron again, just to press that down, and we'll pop the lid back on the glue stick, and as I say, just get the iron back in, and we'll give that a little press there. We could press from the other side, but there might be a little bit of glue on the other side, just to make these nice and flat. I'm making it wobble, aren't I? There we are, so that is all ready to go. So let's just take in our, let's move these out of the way. And they're beautifully flat now. We'll get our background square in place. So what I'm going to do, either do it in half like that. I'm just going to find the center. So I'm just making a little cross there. So I folded it diagonally, nail press there, and I can see that my center is just there. So I'm going to take this center hexagon, and I am going to, I could find the exact spot, but I'm just guessing there that that is the center, and so that I'm lining that up with the center there. Now I will need my glue stick again, because I'm going to put a little dab of glue under there. What a mess, you think, but I'm just securing that in place for when we come to stitch. If you've got another glue stick, or you could even use stick and spray, 505 fabric spray. And what I'm going to do now, if I just put a blob there and a blob there, I'm going to pop these in place. So I'm just going to pop that against there and just alternate these all the way around, make them just sit next to each other. So I could put 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's just going to hold it in place whilst we stitch. So let's pop that one there. So butt that right up to the edges, press that down, and move that one to that edge as well. There we go, they should all fit. If I've pressed them over nicely, they should all fit very well. That one doesn't look very much, does it? Let's do a little bit more there. And then I'll put my, that little one just there. And that one should go right next to each other there. So they're all, just press it down on. And what we could do is just give it a little press with the iron, just to hold that even more in place. And I think that's looking quite good. So now we're going to do, so what you could do now, if you want to, you could hand stitch it in place. If I were going to hand stitch, I would more than likely go, not put these around first. I would pop that one in place and just hand stitch that down to the background fabric. Or I would complete all of this by hand, join it all before I applied it to the background square, and then just hand stitch around the edge to hold it to the back of the fabric. But because I'm going to machine stitch it, I'm going to take it over to the machine here, and we are going to stitch all around. Let's see if you can see here. Can you see I've gone inside those edges and here? Now, what it looks as that you could do is to actually just go around all of the inside ones like this, all of the inside, but it's not the easiest way to do it, and you'll have lots of ends of thread. So there is an easier way to have the most continuous amount of thread that you're using. So we're doing it in 3 portions. Now the first thing I'm going to do is go around this outside edge, so the whole way around this outside. Then the second set of stitching is down from the edge inside the edge of this one, along the inside, up here, across to the next hexagon, and there. So we're doing, and then up, so that we're going all the way around all of them, and where these join together, we're going up one side and down the other, then across the bottom, up one side, down the other, all the way around, and the very last one will just be going around the inside of that hexagon. So let's do our outer edge first of all, and I'm using the inside of my foot to whoops, a bit clumsy today. So I'm using the inside of my foot to work out where it's going to go, to try and keep it even. And I've got a stitch length of about 2, just so that I can get, so every time I come to a corner, I'm going to pivot. And then when I come to where the hexagons come together, there we are, I'm going to go into that area where they come together, and it just helps, there, that's in there, it just helps to keep a nice even distance the whole way around the edge. So that's coming down here. So as you can see, now I'm in the middle of it there, and I'm just holding those hexagons, one more, that's it, holding those hexagons as I go. I really should have changed my needle, whoops, that went one too many. And we'll come down this side now, and then into that next one. So I'm quite close to the edge, and when I come to that little point, that's where I stop and pivot. And you can see how the glue is holding them in place. Otherwise, oops, there, just off the edge there, but never mind. Into that piece in between, and I'm just coming up to where I started now. So I'm just going to do 1 stitch, or 2 stitches there. So I've gone all the way around that edge. So my next route is I'm going to start at the top here, and I'm going to come down around here and then up this next side, and you'll see yourself filling in all the gaps. So let's start just here, and we'll start, and again I'm still using the inside of my foot to gauge where I'm going to sew. And when I come up to this outer edge again, this time I'm going to jump across where they come together. So I'm onto the other side, and I'm coming back down there. And then I am going across the bottom edge of this lighter blue one. Oh, I didn't want to go in there. That's it, so just come back a little bit if it goes. Just depends on your stitch length whether it is going to be the perfect finishing point. That needs to be 1 more. And then down to the bottom there, and then across. And you don't actually want to go, so my stitch length is just minimally more than I'd want it to be to get in exactly the right place each time. So I'm going to cross back down. So if any of you have done the Dresden plate centerpieces, it is very similar to that. We go up and down those blades of the Dresden plate. Ooh, that's it. And then into that inner edge. There we go. And the hexagons are staying beautifully together. So across to the other side, back down the other side, and along that inner hexagon, and back up again. And I think we've got 1 more, no, we're here. Right, so I've got the whole way round, so I'm just going to go over the first 2, that we started with. So now the last bit I'm going to do is go around the inside of the, so I'll start a little bit of a way along rather than right on the point, and I'm just working my way around the inner hexagon, and one more stitch there, and around here, and pivot that round. It's surprising how quick it actually comes together, and into that corner, and then I'll just meet up where I started, and you won't be able to see then where I started and stopped. So if I just click that away, another one just there, and on the back, bits of thread there. But there's a nice, not that this will be seen, but there's a nice pattern on the back. Thought I would have one more thread somewhere, but can't see it. So there it is. Very quick, number 2. As I say, as easy as that. So 1, 2, ready to go. I'm only doing 4 with mine. I may do some more, but quite pretty, quite easy, and you can do them by hand or machine. So I hope you enjoy making this one. Sorry I haven't been live tonight, but I'll be back on Thursday and we'll have a look at some different things. And Friday, let me just show you, I have got it here. How about another, this is different, but a three pocket. Haven't done this one before. Nice and easy. I'm loving my little pocket pouches these days. But another quick, simple way to make. So that's Friday. I'll see you on Thursday. Thanks for joining me, and enjoy your latest August Sew a Row block, which is the grandmother's flower garden. Thanks for watching. Bye.